So they still want to do that, but they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now a give here to Pollard. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. A couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit. Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time, that's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going. Good sign on the opening drive. Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play. They'll go with Pollard here on first down, and he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here, 2nd down. Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Micah Parsons in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. But enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it? No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football. And old Mo is a very, very fickle man. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion. And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. On the ground, this is Leonard Fournette. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. It's Franks now from the shotgun. This one caught by Ridley. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Let's go. And let's face it, what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it. Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly. Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep. In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Now carry there for Fournette as he's able to work his way for a gain of about 5. The rushing numbers for Fournette from last week, 17 carries, 118 yards. And well-liked by his teammates. In fact, I got on good authority, even though I'm not an investigative reporter, that in their team meeting this week, the offensive line stood up and said, Coach, we've got to have better yardage for this guy. He's number 9 in the league. He's got to be in the top 3 before the season's over. Let's run the ball. Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up with a 1st and goal. So 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. That gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal. Franks. Throw left side complete. That's Marshall. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage. They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Touchdown, Bears! Nyheim Hines, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bears have taken the early lead. Extra point by McCann, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards. And it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. McCann's got it teed up. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
There to stop him, Terrell Edmonds. 5 yards remain on 2nd down. Now it's Herbert. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Micah Parsons racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. Pushing his way through. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it. Brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. Fournette fighting through. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Here's a give to Fournette. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Well, for an inside linebacker, I think you'd agree when I say that he is fast to the football, and he proved that thesis correct on that last play. Fournette, a 1st down carry, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I know we can't hear what's going on in that huddle right now, but I'll guarantee you at least one offensive lineman is saying, my bad, we simply couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage. We've got to do a better job trying to root those guys out of there.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 36. A handoff, Fournette running left. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense these past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
They'll go with a big bank Fournette. And he gets the 1st down here as he's taken down at the 24. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Setting up play action. Franks. That's going to be caught. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a 1st down.
And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Fournette again. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Leonard Fournette, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Bears will extend their lead. Extra point by McCann, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. McCann's got it teed up. Dante Pettis now from his end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Well, here we go on the next drive for Washington. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. They'll drop this underneath to Pollard. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
On first down, it's Herbert. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. A huge play there for Washington.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far. And never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
Yeah, that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play. They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. It'll be a handoff to Pollard. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Only a yard on the gain there, and that'll set up 3rd and 13.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they will rally and stop him short of the first down. They get him to the ground at the 26. The kick by Elliott is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
The Chicago offense set to get started. They are back to 500 on the year, got the win last weekend, and it's one that kept their playoff hopes alive.
And if you do have those hopes, 500 is not where you want to be at this point of the year. Now, we know they've battled through some rough patches this season, so it now comes down to how they're going to finish. Not out of it. Can't afford any more missteps, though.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Franks now. And it's complete, right back to Ridley. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. Escaping the pressure right. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's C.J. Henderson picking it off. A young quarterback, Charles, rolling to his right. I know he's right-handed, but is that one that maybe a veteran sticks in his pocket?
I think so, but you have to remember with young quarterbacks, it may take a few years before they get all the stuff out of them that they did earlier in their career or even in their college days when they were used to being dominant. In this case, the NFL veteran defense ended up winning the battle.
Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled.
And trying to get it to Samuel, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And the Bears are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. He has just been a load for opposing offenses to account for. Now 8 interceptions on the year.
I love that number because I always think of center field. You know, when I hear 8, because that's the position you write in the scorecard in baseball. And what do good center fielders do? Take away all the alleys, right? They range deep and make a whole lot of great catches. It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Working out of the gun, Franks. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick, and he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. This will be caught. It's Samuel. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Washington with their first trip to the red zone thus far. This is 1st and goal from about the 8. Justin Herbert looking to pass. It returns it right back to Samuel. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. Now here's Pollard, and he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Tony Pollard with touchdown number 8 on the year. And Washington able to make this a close game again. Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead is down to 4. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Bears going to get one more possession in this first half. And the clock reads 30 seconds to go, so really not a whole lot of time to speak of. Seconds remain in this first half as they come up here 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
Airing it out, looking for Ridley. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Well, Charles, they're so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy. So we reach halftime with the visiting Bears out on top here. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime.
Both teams currently making their final adjustments. We're getting ready for the second half. So we'll send it back up to FedEx Field and hand things back over to Brandon Gott.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And it was somewhat of a strange first half. He threw 3 interceptions, yet you look at the scoreboard, they've got the lead.
So you know what I think he did at the half? He stood up in front of the team, especially in front of the defense, and said, thank you. Appreciate what you've done. You guys have picked me up in a big way. And guess what? I'm going to get back to being who I am, which is pretty darn good. Let's go play the second half.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Now Franks. He'll check this down to Hines. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big play there on the catch and run.
That turned into a very well-orchestrated play right there. Going to work his way out of the backfield to the right, and after he looked it in, he found plenty of space to roam and picked up big yardage.
Off the play fake. Here's Franks. Finds Hines again for the completion. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured bear on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Second and 6. No, scratch that. Second and 7. The Franks looking to throw. His throw incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Buying time to his left. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Again, it's Fournette. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. That caught by Trimble. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And they'll run again. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Well, what a stand this would be if they can get the stop here. 3rd and goal. Fournette will take it in. Touchdown, Bears. Circle that drive, because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes, because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. First possession of the second half now for Washington. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. A play fake, and now under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Adafe Owe in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Now, the #1 mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry. Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. And that is incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go up and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They go play action with Franks. He'll buy some time right. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now Pollard. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. Still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. Here's Herbert. Able to find Isabella. And he's going to have the first down as he's marked down just shy of the 20. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. They'll run with Pollard. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. And he will find his man Samuel. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
And partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Adafe Owe has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. So that time, Charles, a quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Washington on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Washington going to send out their punter as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to get going again. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking...
Oh, Fournette loses it. It's out.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on first and second downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Washington territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Looking to throw. Franks. This one caught by Ridley.
Let's go. Let's do it. A gain of 7.
Franks now to throw on first down. And he will find Ridley on the left side. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon. But with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
And he'll take this one down to the 36.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And Washington will have it on the turnover on downs. And I am not sure, partner, there what the mindset was to go for it. I don't know.
And some teams just feel that possession is the key to everything. They just want to have the football in their hands. No matter how it goes to the other team, they just don't trust doing that. So they say, listen, go for it and try to finish it ourselves.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 66 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Here's Pollard. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And they have just not been able to block him at all throughout this game. Seems like every other play, he's doing something in the backfield. Already got 2 sacks, and now here's a tackle behind the line.
On 2nd and 11 now. Herbert. Smith catches left side. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Now it's Herbert. And he's got his tight end. That's Smith. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
They'll run here with Dillon. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5.
Sometimes I get caught in hyperbole, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, second half. You're down here. This is the time to put it in the end zone.
Yeah, not going to get much better than this for an opportunity.
Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We we've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get it the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. Their lead back down to 1 score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10. Running on first down is Fournette, but he can only manage a yard or so before he's brought down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeouts.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. That's going to be caught by Coulter. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So they decline it as that will bring up 4th.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties, and they wisely did not take that one and made it 4th down.
They'll go with a keeper. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They'll try and run some clock with Fournette. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Fournette once more on 2nd down. And he'll get this up to about the 40. Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On 3rd down, Fournette sheds off the tackle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 64 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell him to back off of being aggressive, but sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose, and just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. The win for the Bears just around the corner. They go down to a knee.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
Oh, without question.